Trudeau jabs Poilievre over bill that could usher in digital ID for prawn browsing. So I think this is him in Edmonton. Justin Trudeau took an unprompted jab at Pierre Poilievre on a Senate prawn bill that the Prime Minister says could usher in a digital ID for adults who want to browse certain websites. This fucking guy. Okay. This is written on February 22nd. So this is just a day after that other articles we read. Justin Trudeau took an unprompted jab at his main political rival today over a Senate prawn bill that the Prime Minister says could usher in a digital ID for adults who want to browse certain websites. This guy, this motherfucker, wants to smash, he's using digital ID to raise these alarm bells. Do you remember the last few years with like COVID protocols and vaccine passports and stuff, and effectively digital ID, social credit score, and he's using this as alarm bells now. Pot, meet kettle, I guess. Trudeau accused Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre of spreading lies about the Liberal government's upcoming online harms legislation, such as don't say mean things about the government or life in prison. We'll get to that. Life in prison. We'll get to that. Serious legislation. He's proposing that adults should instead give their ID and personal information to so protective of our information, or create a digital ID for adults to be able to browse the web the way they want to. I don't know the details. I've had so many concussions that I don't retain that many details in my head. That's why I have to read things off the screen for you rather than just spout them off. But did they not want a digital ID like in the last couple of years? Was this not like a big thing that we're talking about? It was one of the big pushes. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. Anybody out there, I'm happy to say that I was wrong. That's something we stand against and disagree with. We disagree with the digital ID. On Wednesday, Poilievre confirmed that his party supports a bill that will require prawn sites to verify users' ages, and that a future Conservative government would legislate the same. So, in the future, we'll legislate that you'll have to verify users' ages. How are we going to do this? We don't know. We're also going to criticize the Liberal bill now, the online, which, by the way, is Bill C-63 for anyone that wants to look at that. And again, we'll get to the bill itself, but Bill C-63 versus the Conservative bill, which is Bill S-210. Bill C-63, Bill S-210 is what the difference here. Bill S means it's in the Senate, and Bill C means House of Commons, my guess. This is passed in the Senate in the spring, and NDP for study, while Liberals voted against it. Unless it also includes life imprisonment for hate speech, because protecting kids. Member of the Independent Senators Group does not specify how it should be verified. We talked about that. We said that age verification, this Maville Deschênes said in a statement Thursday, the age verification to access online prawn is not a partisan issue. We pointed to other jurisdictions that have drafted such laws, such as the Euro people, UK, France, and European Union. Which, by the way, we covered, when was it? 2 episodes ago, I believe. We talked about the farmers' protests in Europe, basically the war on farmers across the world. And we also talked about Ireland's hate speech bill. We see this in the English-speaking world, not just the countries named here, but everywhere that has white English-speaking people are dealing with this censorship legislation coming out, both online and in real life, in IRL and meat space, while we're being flooded with, we'll say, migrants, but not just migrants, not just like refugees, but people that are fundamentally incompatible with the Western culture's way of life, and we are being destroyed from the inside out by our own governments here. So, interesting times ahead. Of facial ID tech, or requiring users to hand. I don't disagree. There's a risk for privacy for any third-party site to have your information, but our own government can't be trusted with our information. They freeze bank accounts if you disagree with them, and to log on and to use the CRA website, as I do with my taxes, they've been hacked. I don't know how many times. How many people's personal tax information has been leaked? It's retarded. But the Conservatives are great white hope, including Ontario MP Karen Vecchio. Just in case you can't read the sarcasm, I don't have hope for the Conservatives. The chance to have an election, they will win. Will they be better than the Liberals? Subjective. Better, probably better. I just look at it as like we're on the Titanic sinking, and maybe we'll sink a little bit slower. So I don't know. Karen Vecchio, who's sponsoring the bill in the Commons, has a proposed alternative methods to enforce prospective law. Again, they'll probably have to look at some sort of AI tech here. If they're not going to do facial ID and not going to do ID verification, I don't know. Conservatives say they support the bill because children should not be able to freely access prawn online, similar to how children cannot legally purchase prawn in person. And we got to look. They're right. We got to look at apps like Instagram, especially TikTok, which is banned in our friggin' house, by the way. We will not have TikTok here. Facebook, whatever the case is. Like, I worked with these victim services a long time ago. We're talking about 2 decades ago, and studied victimology and studied how crimes happen, and also through my work with them, but also through other social services. You just know that people that are attracted to, it's not just the children trying to reach out and find some sort of free-floating prawn that's out there, but there's people actively targeting them. So the bill shouldn't be just about stopping children from accessing things they shouldn't see online, but what about those people going to not just prawn sites, but your Instagram, but your Snapchat, or whatever the case is, and trying to reach out to children specifically? Alex Rosen, Predator Poachers there in Texas there. What is he? I Fight for Children, I Fight for Kids, I think, is on X, doing a great job catching a lot of these predators. But yeah, so stopping kids from accessing the stuff online is one step, sure, but it is a drop in the bucket. A drop in the bucket. Another statement I can agree with. Justin Trudeau is doing what he knows how to do best. I'll leave that one. Deceiving and dividing Canadians. This is true. This time misleading them on the effects of a bill that has the support of MPs from every party, including members from his own Liberal caucus. They are caucus suckers for sure. Sebastian Skamsky, spokesperson for Poilievre, has said a statement Thursday. So yeah, you got all sorts of support because not all politicians are corrupt. All politicians are corrupt. Do actually maybe want to protect. But they maybe started off wanting to do good, but then, it's a moldy sandwich and the mold spreads, and they eventually get eaten by the mold too. What can I say?